I had a teacher that said that how you do one thing is how you do everything. And well, I Googled it, and apparently this is a normal thing that people say, but I've only ever heard him say it. And I think it's always sounded true to me. It sounded correct. Yes, the way I fold towels is the way that I show up in every part of my life. But for some reason, I've internalized that as to mean that there is a fundamental true self that we are, and it gets revealed in every single little action we take. And the way that I wash a spoon is the same way that I show up in a romantic relationship or at work, or, you know, choose where to live. And that's fundamentally unchangeable. Like, every small thing reveals your true self. And I'm starting to think maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's not what that meant at all. Maybe that just means that you can't expect yourself to show up differently, fundamentally differently, in different parts of your life. So, like, if you're trying to work on being more present and mindful, you can't really expect yourself to be sort of checked out for 80% of your day. And then for that 20% when you're meditating or doing yoga or whatever, now you're fully present and mindful right now. But then for the rest of your day, you're kind of completely checked out. Maybe that's more what it means. It doesn't mean there is an unchangeable truth about yourself, and which is kind of how I took it. I thought, what if I could use that to my advantage? In this daily video series, what I'm trying to do is pick one thing and do it until it's done, one thing at a time. And yes, you've guessed it. If you've watched any of the other days leading to this, this has been triggered by the fact that I'm still working on this crochet anime character that I'm making for a friend, and I don't have a pattern. I am kind of being inspired by other patterns that I've made in the past that have certain elements that are similar to this character, but overall I'm not following a pattern for this character. So I knew there would be some trial and error. I went in thinking I knew what I was getting myself into. There's going to be some trial and error. And there's more trial and error than I thought there would be. I've spent the day today, and it's a weekend day, and I took it easy. I spent the day crocheting ears for this character, and for reference, the character has 2 ears only, and I'm not showing you because I'm paranoid that my friend that I'm making it for will see it before their birthday, okay? The character has 2 ears. It does not have many ears, and yet I've spent the day crocheting ears because I crocheted them too small, and then I attached them to the head anyway. I don't know why I did that, and then I was like, that does not look great. So I made bigger ears, and now I am refusing to attach them because I think they're too big. But I think I'll give myself until tomorrow and look at them with fresh eyes, all nicely pinned onto the head but not sewed in yet, and I'll reassess tomorrow and see how I feel about it. I'm just looking at it on my desk right now, and I'm like, are those ears too big? Are they too big? Anyway, I thought, what if I can use that idea of how you do one thing is how you do everything, and use this kind of low stakes task I'm doing, in this crochet project I'm doing, as a practice for how I want to approach more things in my life. So, okay, so I wrote it on a post-it note where I think I can work on as I make my way through this kind of patternless crochet, which, by the way, I've never really crocheted an amigurumi style, you know, like a figure without a pattern. I've crocheted garments without a pattern, but I've never crocheted a character without a pattern. So obviously this is kind of a bit of a challenge for me. So these are the things that I thought I can practice as I continue to crochet this character and avoid losing my mind. Perseverance, working through frustration, working things out. You know, if something is not working out, how can I figure out how to fix it? Be self-reliant. Keep the fun, keep it light. It's normal to get frustrated, but keep it light, you know? It's just a day spent crocheting ears and ripping them out. I also made this circle. This character has a circle of a different color on their head, and I embroidered the whole circle, and it made the character look like they'd shaved their hair off the rest of their head and they'd left one circle like a reverse monk. And that's not the effect I was going for, so I had to rip it all out. And I'd embroidered it so nicely and so neatly that it was so hard to undo, and I had to kind of cut off all the yarn and like pull it out one little bit at a time. Keep the fan, keep it light. And lastly, know when to take a break and call it a day, which is what I'm doing right now, because it is 2:48 in the morning. So I am calling it a day, even though the character is not finished. I'm calling it a day. And that's also a healthy lesson to learn. Thank you for watching this. Sorry that I'm not showing you what I'm working on, which would probably provide some much needed context. See you tomorrow. Good night.